Shocking new video shows two large SUVs dropping off dozens of illegal migrants at the border in Jacumba, California. The group appearing to be mostly adult males, made up of people from China, Turkey, Brazil, and India. Customs and Border Patrol sources say that they were nearly 1,100 illegal crossings in the San Diego sector on Sunday, 97 Chinese nationals and 90 Turkish nationals. Is this Senate deal being negotiated going to live? I mean, Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said that the Senate border deal, any border shutdown authority that allows even one illegal crossing.
All right, 3 minutes now after the top of the hour. The number one story, most of the issues, this issue mostly likely number one in your house is illegal immigration in America. The breakdown of our border. We always focus on Texas and Arizona, but we cannot forget about California. The second video, very similar to what we saw a couple of days ago. You have an operation now where these illegal immigrants take this boat, they beach it in La Jolla. If you haven't been to San Diego, it is probably the nicest city in San Diego. It is rich. It's upper class. I mean, these cliffs are unbelievable. If you don't hit a seal on the way in, you'll be surprised. These guys beach it. There's cars waiting for them, and they go running in. They are now gone.
Yeah, that first video you saw, the most recent one, shows that boat with suspected illegal immigrants landing on the San Diego beach. And then the last week video we saw of the boat full of the undocumented migrants. They were landing on the beach in San Diego, too, and they were running into this wealthy La Jolla neighborhood. Most of the houses there, the average house is like more than $2 million. You can see it's a beautiful residential area. But this county spent $3 million caring for illegals. They're allotting another $3 million. Last year, over 300 migrants were moved into the San Diego airport because the shelters there ran out of room. This is the largest border city in California.
Right. And this channel is one of the only places you're going to see these images. Bill Maloogian essentially got that video right there. This is the new stuff. This was taken. You know who took this? A guy named Jack. And he was out there in San Diego with a GoPro. He's apparently a lifelong San Diego resident, and he took these images. Obviously, what's going on, in addition to essentially beaching the boats, and it's becoming more and more common, is the smugglers, these human smugglers, are stealing a boat because it's not their boat. They can't buy a boat and then do that. That doesn't make business sense. So they're stealing boats, doing that. Last week, Ainsley, when you were talking about the La Jolla situation, that particular, when they ran into that upscale area, naturally, just like Californians, Good Samaritan swimmers swam out to pick up the trash that the illegals had left behind, and a lot of the trash included fuel cans that were leaking into the water. But this is just a new way of getting the migrants, who pay thousands of dollars per head, in some cases tens of thousands, into the United States. Those are what you call gotaways. Those are like the people we don't know if they've got backpacks full of fentanyl. We just don't know. But it's more and more common.
Look at this insane video. A group of migrants in New York City are arrested after attacking NYPD officers in Times Square. 5 were arrested, and 4 are already released without bail.
All right, the brawl started when 2 officers were trying to break up a rowdy crowd near a migrant shelter on 42nd Street. While arresting one of the men, the other said, hey, I'm not going to just sit there. I'll jump in. I'll start kicking. I'll start punching the officers. After all, I don't belong in this country anyway. I could beat up an NYPD officer. What'll actually happen? The Manhattan DA's office saying it's investigated the incident as police search for 5 other men involved. Every part of this incident could have been avoided if you didn't allow 67,000 people to call New York home who don't belong here. And what happened is, instead of being grateful, they're creating chaos. They get free food, free laundry. Right. They can do whatever they want, free shelter. And when they start fighting each other and NYPD comes to enforce the law, they beat up the cops.
Right.
Forget you trying to wrap your head around that.
New video is sparking even more outrage over the group of migrants accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers. That's what you're looking at on the left hand of your screen. Those guys were freed without bail. And now look at this. Here's one suspect flipping the bird to the cameras. He could care less. Another blows kisses as he smiles and laughs. The other suspect next to him also putting up the middle fingers and cursing at those reporters. Remorseless, brazen, smug. And now the question is, will the Biden administration deport these migrants? Trace, this video is so hard to watch. On top of the video that was so hard to watch of them attacking police officers, will there ever be accountability?
No. And for your first question, will the Biden administration deport them? Doesn't matter, because if they do, they'll be back in 6 days. How many cases do we have where these people just come back? It's a revolving door. They go and they come back. If you or I or the Atlanta Falcons, as you were talking about earlier, went to Times Square and we kicked a cop in the head and we beat up a cop, we'd be in Rikers for the foreseeable future. That would be that. There's no bail for us. These people get out, get bail. It's ridiculous. And it's part of the problem where we cover the border every single day, and we know there's social media. They have learned that not only are there no consequences to go to the United States, they are incentivized. You get free health care in California. You get hotel rooms. You get all of the things that the people who actually are citizens here cannot get, and in some cases are taken out of, like high schools in New York and airports in Boston and places in Chicago where they meet and they gather have now become these sanctuaries and these places where they house the migrants, and it's not fair to the American citizens, and they are infuriated in blue cities across the country, from Denver to San Diego to Boston to New York, wondering, why is this happening? And now the president thinks, you know, because chaos doesn't poll well, he thinks now is the time to shut the border, and I've been trying to shut it since day one, and those darn Republicans won't sign on. And the truth is, come on, everything that Trump did, you undid, and that was the reason we have this problem.
And the cherry on top to that, Kaylee, is that messaging from those illegal migrants that encompasses all of that. It's the message, as Senator Marco Rubio put so succinctly, it's the message to the cops that they assaulted. It's the message to the other New Yorkers as they walk free with no bail. It's the message to all Americans as they go back to the shelters that we paid for.
Yeah, who are these people? I mean, look at this guy. This is stomach churning. Who are you? Where did you come from? What is your history? Because clearly you didn't come here pursuing the American dream. You came here to flip a bird after beating up a police officer. And according to Marco Rubio, likely going back to a taxpayer facility. Now, as we think about the number on the terror watch list who have crossed our border, MS-13 who have crossed our border, we don't know who these guys are. We don't know their specific background, but we do know it's a fact that people of that nature have crossed our border. And what are we going to do? The brilliant idea of sanctuary state, blue jurisdictions. Let's put them by the schools. That was the plan. Put them next to little girls going to class. Let's stick people. For all we know, this guy was put next to a school. We have no idea. And then you move over to Boston, and I saw a stunning report on local CBS News Boston today. A recreation facility in a low-income community is going to be used to house migrants. And this recreation facility is home to a program, a track program, free of charge for kids in low-income communities. And the coach of that track program said this: "We have kids who are also impacted. Our program is one of the few stable times in their lives. But let's yank that program away from the American without resources, and let's put guys like this in the recreation facility, because that's what our founders intended."
Yeah, and I saw the leaders in Boston and Massachusetts saying, well, look, you all have this wrong. These people came here legally. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No. And they're basically all out on parole while they seek asylum. Do these guys look like people who need asylum? That they are somehow unsafe in their... Now, maybe they are, because they're criminals, right? Because they do stuff like this. This picture is worth 1,000 words. These pictures are worth 1,000 words. That you've got these people who, at taxpayer expense, are here, are taking our food, our shelter, whatever else, and then going ahead and doing this after beating up a cop.
Can I chime in here?
Oh, please.
With three West Coasters.
Yes.
We've had an illegal immigration problem for generations.
Yep.
People have coming in. We, Southern Californians, we know it, we experience it. This is new. This is not usually what happens. We've had the border issue for a long time. And one thing we've always said in Los Angeles is, these were people who were working at day jobs. They were not begging. There was no excess crime. Cops weren't being attacked. None of this is normally accompanying this kind of situation. We have inculcated this with the attitude. Where did they learn you can attack cops and not have any repercussions? Where do you hear this? What are you saying? Yes, who are these people? Was he a normal guy?
They learn on social media.
Did he turn into this?
And I'll jump back in and say
them to be this way.
Right. And the three of us from Southern California always used to go to Mexico to travel, to spend a few weeks or a few days, a few nights. If we did something, if anyone from America tried this stunt in Mexico, you'd never hear from us again.
Or in any other country.
Right, right.
Yeah.